Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to the news at 5 on Channels Television. I'm Joke Rogers. Here are the news and reports we're tracking for you this hour. Relief and hope filled the air as the Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak arrived at the private facility in Ilorin, the state capital, where victims rescued from the Woro kidnapping ordeal are receiving care. Many of the survivors, including women and children, are undergoing urgent medical treatment provided by the state government as they begin the difficult journey of recovery after days of fear and uncertainty. Behind closed doors, Governor Abdulrazak is meeting with security chiefs to review the rescue mission and strengthen ongoing efforts to protect lives and prevent future attacks. Brigadier Commander Nicholas Rume praised the dedication and teamwork of all security agencies and stakeholders whose coordinated efforts made the successful rescue possible. He reassured Nigerians that the military remains steadfast in its resolve to confront criminal elements nationwide, stressing that unity, intelligence sharing, and collaboration among security agencies continue to deliver meaningful victories in the fight against insecurity.
Today I'm happy to tell you or to introduce to you the people whom, through the combined efforts of the security agencies, we have been able to rescue. Again, I want to use this opportunity to thank and to say thank you to the other security agencies whom have been very helpful in all the efforts we're making. This today is an example of the synergy that exists within security agencies in the country. And I wish to state that as we continue to fight insurgency and banditry in Kwara State, to thank the governor for direction, for his support, and for all the logistics he continually supports us with to continue to fight this fight. And to tell you and to commit ourselves to that our efforts will not wane. And we are continually taking directions from the Chief of Army Staff, and his direction has always been very clear as to what he wants and how he wants us to achieve this. You will agree with me that this year at least there has been a reduction in the crisis and in the incidences we've been having in Kwara. This is a result of his support, his direction, and the strategies that he continues to lay.
Meanwhile, 7 students of the Ogun State-owned ICT Polytechnic Shapade in Remon North local government area who were abducted by kidnappers have regained their freedom following a joint operation by the Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies. The students were rescued in the early hours of Thursday after spending about a week in captivity. Addressing journalists in Abuja alongside heads of security agencies, Governor Dapo Abiodun assures residents that his administration will continue to strengthen the state security architecture through sustained investment in security infrastructure and the provision of logistical support to security agencies.
We rescued 5 at the early hours of the day, and we handed them over to their respective families. We reunited them, but before then we took them for medical treatment to police medical services. And early hour to the helicopter with the ground forces stormed the kidnappers den and also rescued the remaining 2 victims. And thereafter, we have successfully arrested 2 of the kidnappers as we speak. They are with us and they are singing. And we are still on the trail of others while the operation continues.
Security remains a shared responsibility, and I urge all residents to continue providing credible information to the appropriate authorities. Let me reassure every resident, every investor, every visitor that Ogun State remains safe and secure and open to legitimate business and investment. Our administration will continue to strengthen intelligence gathering, deploy modern surveillance technology, improve operational mobility, and provide the logistic support required by security agencies to stay ahead of emerging threats. While we thank God for the safe rescue of the victims, we must not become complacent. Kidnappers, bandits, armed robbers, cultists, and every violent criminal must understand that Ogun State is not and will never become a sanctuary for criminality. Together, through vigilance, cooperation, and decisive action, we shall continue to preserve the peace, security, and prosperity that define our dear state.
A similar scenario played out in Edo State, where the State Police Command also rescued 4 victims abducted along the Lagos-Benin Expressway during a coordinated security operation. The victims were kidnapped at the tail end of last month when 3 armed men, disguised in vigilante uniforms, blocked the Ogun axis with logs and leaves before attacking motorists and taking some passengers away. A combined team of security operatives launched the bushcombing operation supported by drone technology to rescue the victims. The sustained operation forced the kidnappers to abandon them and flee. The rescued victims have been reunited with their families while police continue a manhunt for the fleeing suspects. Away from security matters, in 2015, Shell Petroleum agreed to pay $55 million to the Woro community compensation for oil spills that devastated the environment. In 2025, the company announced its divestment to Renaissance Africa Holdings and Energies, officially exiting the Niger Delta. In the story, right? Well, not quite. New revelations from internal memos disclosed in a UK court documents show that the corruption and negligence within Shell run far deeper than previously thought. Our correspondent Charles Oporum reports.
For decades, Shell Petroleum Development Company has drilled beneath the soil of River State, and for just as long, conflict has simmered beneath its footprint. Oil spills, litigation, quiet out-of-court settlements. You'd think the story ends there. It doesn't. Internal Shell documents unearthed in a UK court reveal something far darker. Shell knew a pipeline was failing and let it bleed anyway. The evidence lives in Amnesty International's new report, Nigeria, Lifting the Lead, a document that dismantles Shell's decades-old defense that theft and sabotage alone caused the spills. Buried in the paper trail is a pipeline Shell's own staff nicknamed the Basket. They knew it was broken. They let it run. Profits over people. To understand what that choice costs, we travel to the creeks of Budo in Gokana local government area, ground zero for spill after spill. A youth leader leads us to a ruptured pipeline where crude bleeds silently into the water. This is what he showed us.
Globally, Bodo City happens to be the community that has suffered even much more than the Gulf of Mexico oil spillage. This is the global point of oil spillage in the whole world.
Back in Abuja, Amnesty's country director lays bare a system of double standards. Nigerian operations quietly exempted from the safety rules Shell enforces everywhere else.
Unfortunately, in Nigeria, these documents revealed that Shell decided to ignore its own internal standards, and these documents expose that in the exchanges by senior managers, showing that what they allowed to happen in Nigeria in terms of negligence and leakages, destruction to the environment, are things that they never allowed to happen in any country. And that is why we call it a scandal, a double standard. And we believe that with these revelations, it is now time for the Nigerian government to do the right thing.
He goes further, alleging some Shell staff were complicit in the very oil theft the company publicly blamed on militants. Yet he holds on to hope that Nigeria's government will finally act.
So if you look at the report, there is a part where we shared the email exchanges, where clearly, there were even allegations internally that some people in Shell are also being part of all these alleged crimes. So therefore, these documents have now put to rest the much mentioned blame placed on the host communities, on militants, on bunkers, and many other things.
The pipeline in question, the 150,000 barrel a day Nembe Creek trunk line running near Bile, a community now gripped by a different terror, gas bubbling ominously beneath its waters. Environmental activist Celestine Apobari lays the blame squarely at Shell's feet, accusing the company of walking away from its wreckage by selling off to Renaissance Africa Holdings.
If they were to give an award to any corporation for telling lies, Shell should be number one. Shell should be number one, because I don't understand why they are always talking about difficult terrain when you are asking that they should do good. But when they want to take oil, there is no difficult terrain. There is nothing good about Shell. Why are they running away now and changing their name into Renaissance?
Shell's exit was finalized in 2025. Clean on paper, but much like old wine in a new scheme. Same staff, same facilities, but with a brand new name, Renaissance. When we reached out to Renaissance, they declined to comment, asking that we go to Shell Petroleum, a company that technically no longer exists in Nigeria. From the bubbling waters of Bile to the flames of Ofionimama to the oil-slicked creeks of Ogali and Budo, the Niger Delta tells one story again and again. Pain, sorrow, and tears. The oil that was meant to be a blessing has become, for its own people, a curse. Charles Oporum, Channels Television News.
Gantu community in Mayoka Bali local government area of Taraba State is now rid of illegal miners after the state government arrested and dispersed over 500 of them. Makeshift shelters used by the illegal miners were also set in place in accordance with Order 6 of the state's laws. The measures are aimed at regulating mining activities to boost economic development and ensure the sector operates within the ambits of the law.
We recorded enormous successes. Most importantly, the recent one of yesterday, 5th, whereby we dispersed over 500 illegal miners in Gantu, Mayoka Bali local government successfully, and what we were unable to move, like their huts and other things, were burnt down, and everybody is out of the site for now. And that is in collaboration with the directive of His Excellency, when he was passing in the Executive Order 6 on Sunday. The Order 6 is going to reorganize and strategize the mining in Taraba State, whereby it's going to boost up the economy of the state. Right now, I have deployed, on the instruction of His Excellency, I've deployed vigilante, I've deployed hunters, civil defense, and military on that site. They are guiding that site so that anybody on site, they can get him arrested. So I'm rest assured that they will not go back there. Rest assured, because of the presence of security men that we deployed yesterday.
When we come back on the news at 5, late night filling station fire throws residents of the FCT into panic. Details in a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. A late night fire at a filling station in Garki Area 3 of the Federal Capital Territory sparked panic amongst residents after a fuel tanker reportedly exploded. An eyewitness told Channels Television that the explosion occurred at about 9 p.m., destroying several vehicles and properties worth millions of naira. But no lives were lost in the incident. The fire also affected a building housing the Federal Capital Territory Internal Revenue Service. As of the time of this report, neither the filling station's management nor the National Emergency Management or the Federal Fire Service issued an official statement on the incident.
So when I heard the sound of the blow, what I could see, it was fire. So, and people ran around crying, fire, 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 fire service, fire service, fire service. So one of the pump seller now said he had communicated to the Oga, but Oga also called the fire service people that they are coming. So we are there, or people trooping in. So when people came around, people were so many before the fire service would come. And also before then, I was the person, particularly, I assisted one man in removing his car inside the station when the fire was still on.
The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has disclosed that his administration is shifting its focus from delivering healthcare projects to building enduring systems that will guarantee quality, accessible and affordable healthcare for generations. Speaking at the Eco Health Convention 2026, Governor Sanwo-Olu says Lagos is embracing evidence-based medicine and digital transformation through the Smart Health Information Platform, which will integrate medical records across primary healthcare centers and general hospitals in the state. Our correspondent, Titilayo Aberiowo, reports.
2026. Medical professionals in the public and private sector, policymakers, development partners converge on Oriental Hall, Victoria Island, Lagos for the Eco Health Convention 2026 to chart a way forward on building a healthier Lagos with digital innovation. Mr. Governor, the convention tells the story of a health system that is continuously evolving to meet the needs of the state's growing population.
This year, our theme is building a healthier Lagos, connecting access with excellence. And that is exactly what we've been doing this past year.
We used to diagnose malaria, 60% of all fevers this time last year. Right now, it's down to less than 5%. We're also mindful of the expanding Ebola outbreak in East and Central Africa. And so we're building the Lagos BioShield, and we're making sure that if anybody chooses to wander into Lagos with Ebola, that we identify them easily, quickly, and we bring it under control like we did in 2015.
Ensuring access to affordable and quality healthcare for citizens through health insurance scheme remain top priority for the government.
Health facilities in Lagos are to stabilize the patient first before asking for insurance or payment of any kind. It goes further to say that if that patient is vulnerable, contact LASHMA. They will verify and the patient will be enrolled under Ilera.
The State Deputy Governor, who is also the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress for the 2027 governorship election, respond to questions on the performance of the state health sector and outline plans to further improve healthcare delivery.
How do we provide neonatal, pediatric services under one roof? So that at least mothers and children, these hospitals are closer.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says sustained investment in the health sector is yielding positive results. According to him, over 1 million residents of Lagos are now enrolled in the state health insurance scheme called Ilera, but the figures must improve to reduce out-of-pocket medical expenses.
Voluntary insurance covers the anxious. Mandatory insurance covers the population. Today, more than 1.5 million Lagosians are enrolled under the Ilera health insurance scheme. It's only when we all work together that we can truly have an efficient, effective, robust health institution that is working for all.
The Lagos State government says its doors remain open to more partnerships aimed at building a stronger, innovative healthcare system that delivers better outcomes for the people. Titilayo Aberiowo, Channels Television News.
Now to politics. The presidential candidate of the Accord Party, Professor Christopher Imumolin, has announced his withdrawal from the presidential race to support President Bola Tinubu for the 2027 presidential election. The presidential candidate of the Accord Party is also the factional national chairman of the party. He says he shares the same vision with President Tinubu and will join hands with others in supporting national development. Professor Imomolin made this known during a press conference in Lagos earlier today.
I, Professor Christopher Imomolin, in consultation with the leadership of the party, made the patriotic decision to withdraw from the presidential race and fully support the re-election of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, in the 2027 presidential election. This decision was not born out of personal interest, but from a deep conviction that the unity, stability, and continued progress of Nigeria must take precedence over my personal political ambition. President Tinubu's reform agenda and policy closely align with our core objective of our manifesto. If you had gone through our manifesto, we probably had said we are going to do the same thing, and is doing it. Yes, many persons had complained about some of the challenges we faced. For us, we believe development is progressive, is continuum. And what we can do is to find a way to support the government so that we can achieve a better country together.
Business news now. Taxpayers can now contact the Office of the Tax Ombudsman for complaints and disputes pertaining to tax issues. Since creation in 2025, however, Nigeria so far received a total of 20 genuine cases, 12 received via web portal case management system, 2 via email, 1 via call center, and 5 were submitted physically. The chief executive of the Office of the Tax Ombudsman, Dr. John Nwabweze, who met the journalists for the third quarter 2026 breakfast meeting in Lagos, said that since creation in 2025, his office has received a total of 20 genuine cases. The Central Bank of Nigeria and the Debt Management Office have suspended this week's Treasury bills auction after the Apex Bank raised 4.69 trillion naira through open market operations. The development reflects the CBN's continued use of OMO auctions as its primary liquidity management tool, with investors now watching for the timing of the next Treasury bills issuance and the central bank's next monetary policy actions. Well, despite sweeping tax reforms introduced by the federal government earlier this year, a new survey by the Central Bank of Nigeria shows that multiple taxation remains the biggest challenge confronting businesses across the country. The findings suggest that although the Tinubu administration has introduced far-reaching reforms aimed at simplifying Nigeria's tax system and improving the ease of doing business, many businesses are yet to experience meaningful relief from the burden of multiple taxes. Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals accounts for 1/5 of Europe's jet fuel imports, reinforcing its position as a major force in global aviation fuel trade. The refinery has strengthened its position as a global supplier of premium aviation fuel after emerging as Europe's largest jet fuel supplier for the second consecutive month, overtaking the United States and underscoring the refinery's growing influence on international energy markets. Latest European import data compiled by global commodities intelligence firm Kepler shows that more than 400,000 tons of jet fuel was produced by the 700,000 barrels per day refinery and was exported to Europe. And that's it on the news at 5. Thank you for watching. I'm Joke Rogers.